and welcome to yoga. Today it has been decided that we are going to work on the neck, the shoulders, the back, and just kind of moving with a really stretchy practice. So that's what we're going to do today. Grab a strap and a block in case we need one. Not sure if we will, but we should have one anyway. And let's get started. We're going to start being sat on a block. Okay, so find that comfortable position for you. Wrestle with the leggings. So sitting up nice and tall, allow the knees to fall down so that the hips can open, and then just begin to check in with where you are. So starting to think about those foundations, really wiggle around, really move the fatty bit, the soft bit of the bottom out of the way so that sit bones can really plant down, and then sit up nice and tall. From here, we're just going to draw in the ribs, and then we're going to sit up, thinking about shoulders being stacked over those hips. Take the hands down to the knees, allow the shoulders to just roll back and down so that the chest is nice and open. And then we're going to start off with that even breathing. Just really thinking about kind of finding that emptiness of the mind, starting to take that gaze inwards, allowing everything that's going on in the outside world to go away. It's not welcome here today. So come on then, let's take a nice deep inhale for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keeping the eyes closed just for a moment. Imagine that there's a cord coming from the crown of the head and lengthen nice and tall. Check out where those shoulders are. Have the shoulders begun to creep forward? If they are, can you squeeze those shoulder blades back and then down? Just finding that openness through the chest, allowing the shoulders to be back where they belong. So with the eyes closed, the breath nice and smooth, nice and even. Maybe focus in on intention for today's practice. Feeling maybe you want to send some energy somewhere. Maybe you want to be full of pride, being proud of what you can achieve, whatever it might be. Focus in on it, imagine it, hold it in your mind's eye. Take a nice deep inhale here, feel the chest lift. And as you exhale, exhale from the mouth, sigh it away. Okay. Lovely. Up to you if you want to keep the eyes closed, or you can begin to start to open up those eyes. We're just going to swap those legs out. So take the other leg as your leading leg. And then taking the hands to the back of the head. We don't need to interlace those fingers just yet, but what we're going to do here is just take the right elbow down as the left elbow lifts. Coming back to center, swap it out. Left elbow down, right elbow lifts. Back through center, back to the right side. Back through center, back to left. Last one's here, back to center, back to right. Back to center, back to left. And then back to center. This time, take the fingers, interlace them behind the head. Bring those elbows in towards one another. Think here about those elbows moving to the front wall. So really find that stretch across the shoulders. This time now, we're going to start to take the chin down towards the chest. Just pause here for a moment. So feeling the stretch on the back of the neck. feeling like those elbows are moving towards the front wall, you should feel that the skin across the shoulders is nice and taut. Remembering to breathe. And then from here, we're going to start to round down the spine ever so slowly. So using those elbows as a bit of a gauge, moving them down towards the mat, feeling like you're rounding into the spine, feeling the skin across the spine beginning to become tight. And then slowly unwinding, coming all the way back. And now open those elbows to opposite sides of opposite walls, and then begin to lift the nose and the chin up towards the ceiling. Just draw that navel in towards the spine so you have a little bit of security through that core area, and then lift through the chin. As you do that, we're looking to move those elbows back to the opposite walls, almost thinking here about squeezing those shoulders together. It's going to be a little bit trickier because the hands are meeting, but lifting through the chest. And then from here, let's come back down again, bring the gaze back to neutral. And then one more time, let's bring those elbows into one another. As we do that, start to push those elbows forward to feel that stretch across the upper shoulders. Breathing here, taking a moment. Now beginning to tilt chin to chest and pausing there. Okay, now beginning to round through the spine, drawing those elbows down towards the mat. And then just drawing that core in, beginning to unravel yourself like a beautiful snail all the way out. Elbows to opposite walls, lift through the nose, lift through the chin, lift through the chest. Draw that belly button in towards the spine so you have a little bit of security through the core. Breathe here, allow the lungs to open. And then exhale through the mouth, releasing off. And then bring that the gaze back to neutral again. Lovely. Okay, from here, let's take that right hand down, sweep that left arm over. Let's take a moment here, reaching that left shoulder back now, taking the gaze up towards the ceiling, taking that right elbow in towards the body. And now closing off, left hand is going to come down to the mat. Take that right hand away as well. Take a stretch over to the right side. See if you can just sink that left sit bone down. What we want to do is feel that stretch through the hips. We want to feel it through that side body and then all the way up into the shoulder. Okay, walk those hands back in. Take the arms up nice and high, reach up out of the waist, lift through the chin, open through the neck. Take a breath. And then that left hand is going to come down, that right arm is going to sweep over. Again, right sit bone really connects down onto the mat. Now beginning to open through that right shoulder, lifting the gaze towards the ceiling. Left elbow turns in so you can open through that right shoulder. And then that right hand is going to come down, left hand is going to walk away. Find that stretch all the way down that right side. Keep pushing through that right sit bone. Make sure you're connected. Feel that release into that lower back. Walking those fingers away to feel that stretch through the shoulders and then all the way down that right side body. Okay, and then let's walk those fingertips round through center. So this time, fingertips are down, palms are lifted. Take the inhale, find that length again through the crown of the head, lift and lengthen, and then exhale so you can walk those fingertips away, coming to fold down towards the mat. And remember, it doesn't matter if you're up here or if you're down here, it doesn't matter where you get to. What you want to do is feel that stretch around the shoulders. You want to feel those sit bones back onto the mat. So if you push the fingertips down, you can move those sit bones back so they're really firmly connected, giving you a deeper stretch through the hips. And then begin to walk those hands in. Let's get rid of our block. We're going to come over towards our table. So taking those knees down underneath the hips, we've got the hands down underneath the shoulders. Okay, so just moving through our cat-cows to start with. So we've already done a seated version, but let's move into that spine just a little bit more. So taking the inhale, allow the belly to drop and the throat to open. Thinking about the hands pushing down the shins, pushing down the sit bones, heading towards the ceiling. Take the movement from the pelvis as you begin to round through the spine. Really push the hands down to find that separation of the shoulder blades. Begin to take the chin towards the chest. Doesn't need to be touching, of course, but just taking the eyes down between the knees. Push those shins down so that those legs become active. And now starting to move with the breath. Taking the movement that feels good for you, sometimes a rock backwards and forwards, just moving into the spine, remembering to warm up through the wrists. It's nice to roll over the knees. And then let's take it in a more circular direction. We're going to bend through those elbows, drop down, and then push all the way back up. Really feeling into what your body is asking for. Maybe you can pick up on what's feeling tight. Maybe you can pick up what's feeling super good. Unfortunately, it's usually the tight bits that we notice, but it'd be great to really kind of channel into the great stuff. And then reversing it, taking it in the other direction. And then when you're ready, coming back into your table, we're going to tuck the toes. We're going to hover the knees, push the hands down, find that really nice stretch across the shoulders. Keep the neck nice and neutral. Take the right leg away, keep that left knee hovering. Push through that right heel. Keep breathing. If it's too much, take the left knee down, it's okay. Let's switch it out. Right foot comes back in. Keep that right knee hovering this time. Left knee is going to come away. Push down through that left heel. Don't know about you, my arms are a little bit shaky. Okay, bring that left foot back in. And then from here, take those knees nice and wide. Let's find a frog. Bring those heels to trail behind the knees and then sink the hips down. A great place here to rest. If you've got cushions or something you can prop underneath you, then go ahead and do that. Take it more of a kind of a passive pose. If you're looking to start to move through the shoulders, dare I say it, not finding strength, not for dolphin, no, not at all. But if you wanted to find a little bit of strength here, push through those forearms to find that connection, that strength through the shoulder. Starting to push through the forearms as the hips begin to open. Check in here that you're not gripping. So if you find that you're gripping through the toes or the ankles are rigid, what we want to do is just narrow the gap between the knees or bring the body weight forward, okay? Sitting here with the breath, using it as an opportunity to build strength for our dolphin. Maybe. Okay, we're going to come out of this nice and carefully. So just bring those toes down, tuck the toes, use that core strength to be able to lift through the knees, and then find a narrow-legged child's pose so that we can start to decompress through the hips. So take the forehead down, take the hands behind you, allow the palms to be up, and allow the head to be heavy. Shoulders can come down towards the mat.
See it as a really supported shoulder and back stretch. So the knees, the thighs are just supporting the heaviness through the upper body. Allow the top body, I don't think I've ever said that before, the upper body to kind of be limp and heavy. And embrace that feeling. Okay, we're going to unwind ourselves nice and carefully. And as we do that, we're just going to tuck under the toes. If you've got a strap nearby, then grab hold of it because you're going to want it. So we're going to tuck those toes underneath. We're going to sit up nice and tall. With our strap, we're going to take the hands nice and wide. And then we're going to start to just take the rotations round. So coming down in front, lifting up, and then taking the strap all the way behind. So this is very dependent on how tight you are through the shoulders, is how wide that your hands are going to be on that strap, okay? You can play around with it, you can shorten it, lengthen it, see what's good for you. Just moving through the shoulder space, be aware of the neck. So if you're putting undue pressure through the shoulders, perhaps the neck will start to tighten. And if it does, it's a little bit of a clue that means that we need to widen the stance with the hands so that there's less tension building into the neck. Hopefully this is a great distraction. You don't notice what's going on with the feet, which is equally as uncomfortable, I would say. Okay. Let's pass that strap down, take the weight into the hands, gently tap those toes out. Enjoying that, feels nice. And then come back into your table. Just wiggle through those ankles, take some little circles with the ankles, take them in one direction and then the other. Just releasing anything that was bothering. And then back in our table, we're going to take the toes down, hover through the knees. Oh yeah, we're going to take the right foot away, push through that heel, keeping that left knee just hovering. Push through the hands, find that strength through the shoulders, keep the neck nice and relaxed, gaze comes down between the fingertips. Take that right foot back in, hovering the knee. Left foot comes away, push through the heel. Keep breathing. Enjoying the strength, feeling the work. Okay, and then bring that left foot back in. We're going to take chest towards the thighs. Really stretch through the hands. And then begin to float the bottom up. Walk the heels one at a time. Wiggle through the bottom, really exaggerate this. Release through the lower back. And then when you're ready, just find your down dog. Right leg is going to lift. Find your three-legged dog. Stack the hips, drop the back knee. Three-legged dog, bringing that right foot towards the bottom. Start to push the hips forward. Find that groin stretch, find that quad stretch. And then that right foot is going to come through the hands. Finding that kind of, I want to say it's a high lunge, except we're not up, but it's not a low lunge either. So we're going to move into this hip space, start to roll over the toes if that is comfortable. For me, I really like a bit of movement through the hips, but if it doesn't feel good for you, then don't do it. If you want a more stationary approach, then of course you can. And then just take a moment here, find that stretch through the hips. Left hand plants down, right arm stretches away from you, and then reaches all the way up towards the ceiling. Maybe if you've got space for it, that right hand can come all the way behind you to touch the top of that left thigh so that you can roll that right shoulder open and back. Keep pushing through that back heel, keep lifting that left kneecap up towards the ceiling and checking with that right knee that we're stacked over that right ankle. Right hand places down. Are you ready? We're going to go into plank. Right foot's going to come back to join left. Find your plank. Knees come down. We're going to walk the fingertips forward so we find our poppy. So sinking the chest down, allowing the bottom to stack over the top of the knees. Keep the neck relaxed, take the forehead down. Maybe the palms begin to lift if you've got space around the shoulders. Okay, from here, we're going to lift up. Left hand is going to slide underneath the right. Rest on top of that left shoulder. Draw that right hand high. And then wrap it behind you if you have the space for it. Rolling that right shoulder back. Coming out, right hand faces down. Left arm slides out. Left hand down this time, right arm all the way underneath. Rest on the top of that right shoulder. And that left hand can lift or wrap all the way behind you. Keep rolling that left shoulder open. Check in with the neck, make sure it's nice and relaxed. Keep breathing. Okay, left hand comes down and right hand comes all the way out. Come back into your table. All right, tuck those toes, hover those knees. Keep pushing through the hands. Take the right foot back, stretch through that right heel. Keep that left knee hovering, keep that core tucked under. Let's swap it out. Right knee comes in, left foot comes away, push through the heel. Okay, from here, left foot comes in. Let's take it high. Take the chest towards the thighs, find your downward facing dog. Walk those heels out one at a time. Wiggle through the bottom, draw the heels down, and then play around with taking nice deep bends through the knees so that you can really start to lengthen through the hamstrings. And then find your down dog. Just shake your head yes. No, nod your head yes and shake your head no. Just release any tension that might be gathering. Left leg is going to lift, three-legged dog. Pause here. Stack the hips, bend through that back knee. Left foot comes towards bottom. Start to push the hips forward. Find that groin stretch. Keep breathing. And then left foot is going to come through the hands. And once again, just rolling over the ball of the feet, ball of the foot, finding into that hip stretch. Sinking the hips down, finding that really nice opening. And then once you're happy, pause there, right hand comes down, take that left hand all the way in front of you. You can feel that long line from the fingertips to the back of the heel. And then lift through that left arm, lift, lift, and lift. Open through the chest. And then if there's space, take that left arm behind you, roll that left shoulder back. And then don't forget about that back leg I had. Start to push through that right heel, lift through the back knee. Be nice and strong. And then that left hand comes down, that right hand comes down, and we're going to take a strong leap from that right foot, bring it all the way to the top of the mat to join the left. All right. So taking that forward fold, enjoy it here. So really thinking about that deep bend into the knees so we can tilt through the pelvis and take the sit bones towards the ceiling. Take those opposite elbows, begin to just sway from side to side. That lower back thanking you for it. then coming into a twist, so coming nice and stationary. That right hand is going to place down. We're going to start to straighten through the left leg and lift through that left arm. Maybe the gaze comes up, maybe it doesn't. If you find that you've not got quite enough space, bring a block to lift the floor up to you. Okay, swapping it out, left hand is going to come down. As we push through the left hand, we begin to twist to the right side. That right leg begins to straighten as the left bends. We lift through that right hand. Thinking about sending the sit bone back. So we really deepen that stretch down the outside of that right thigh. Okay, and then coming all the way back through center. From here, start to layer each vertebra on top of one another, coming up to a standing position, but there is no rush. And then once you're up, just begin to shake out the body, feeling nice and open, refreshed. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to play around with eagle pose. What we want to do is find that really nice stretch across the shoulders. So we're going to squeeze into the body. So if you know that your balance is not quite on point, and it's not, then grab yourself a block, okay, just to use it as something to stabilize on. So we're going to use our right leg as our standing leg to start with. So standing nice and firm, draw up the kneecap so that the thigh is nice and secure. Going to take a soft bend into that knee, draw in the core, tuck the tailbone ever so slightly. Left leg is going to lift and just cross over the right. If you can, you can either just take that foot down to the block if you would like to, or if you want to bind, take that left foot, place it behind the right calf. What we want to do is keep those hips forward. Okay, so take the hands to the hips to begin with, just to check that you're there. We're going to take the hands out as cactus arms. We're going to take right arm underneath left, and then take the bind by bringing palms together. The idea here is we want to move the shoulders forward and the elbows down. The elbows forward and down. And we want to start to bring elbows and knees towards one another as we begin to lower the bottom, tucking the tailbone. And then we want a line of elbows and knees. Feel the stretch across the shoulders, squeezing everything together. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back up. Release, shake off. If you found that that was a really tight bind with the hands, you can always just take opposite shoulders. You'll get the same effect. If you are using a block, shift it over to the other side. This time round, left leg is going to be our standing leg. So get nice and firm, making sure that those four corners of the feet, our foot is planted down. Standing up tall, right leg is going to cross over the left. Soft bend into that left leg as you begin to sit down. Option here to bind that right foot behind the left calf. Hands to hips so we know that they're forward facing. Draw those knees in line, in the center line of the body. Take the hands out as cactus arms. Okay, left arm is going to come underneath right. And then make those palms meet. And now we start to push those elbows away towards the mirror or towards the camera, and then draw the elbows down. As we do that, elbows and knees coming towards one another, elbows and knees in one line. Breathing, think about tucking the sit bone under so that you can begin to drop a little lower. Keep breathing. And then release, release through the arms, release through the legs, and then shake it all out. All right, lovely job. Okay, from here, we're going to then take a wide-legged stance. That right leg and left leg open. Take the feet to parallel to the short edge of the mat. Take the hands to the hips. take a swan dive forward. So thinking here about that lovely long straight spine. So really lengthen through the crown of the head towards the wall ahead of you. The sit bones are going to go back. Okay. Now from here, take that dive a little bit further. Starting to hinge from the hips, think about the forehead or even the crown of the head coming down to the center of the mat. You're going to have to trust yourself here as you start to rock the weight forward ever so slightly into the toes so that you can begin to tip forward. Taking a moment. Okay, and then that right hand is going to place down and that left hand is going to lift, come into a twist. Again, option to always take that hand behind to touch the top of the right thigh. And let's swap it out. Left hand's going to come down, right hand's going to lift and lift through those fingertips. And then if you want to bring that arm behind you, then go ahead. Gaze can come wherever is comfortable. And then coming back to your center, heel toe those feet in, come down through your squat. So entirely up to you how you want to play your squat. So thinking here whether you want to move around or if you're just into a little bit more stationary stance. Use a block if your heels are lifting. Don't work harder than you need to. And if your bottom is kind of moving around and your spine is all crunched over, use that block underneath the bottom so that you can lift that spine so you have this lovely long and open chest. Take a moment just to breathe. Use the leverage from the elbows into the knees to open deeper into the hips. Nice releasing breath as you take an inhale. And then exhale through the mouth, knowing that you are winding down. Okay, releasing those hands, just roll gently onto the bottom. And then we're going to make our way down, all the way down onto your mat. Okay, that right leg is going to come away from you. Sorry, no, yeah, right leg away from you. Left knee going to bend in towards you. Interlace those fingers below the knee and draw the knee in towards the armpit or towards the shoulder. Pushing through the heels if you want to. Thinking about the openness through the chest. Thinking about the shoulders being back and down. The neck is long. And then taking the twist, right hand to outside of the left knee, draw that knee across the body. That left hand can extend if it's comfortable. And then back through center, take that left leg away from you. Right knee bends in, interlace the fingers below that knee. Drawing the knee just past the ribs and in towards the shoulders. Same applies, open chest, shoulders back and down, neck relaxed. Push through the heels. And then just releasing off. Left hand to outside of the right knee. Bring that knee across the body to the left side. Right hand can extend. And then slowly and carefully just bring the body back to center. Feet placed down, knees are up. Just windscreen wiper those knees from side to side. Just settling the body. This is your moment now to just pay attention to what your body's asking for. And now when you're ready, take those feet away from you. Come into your final Savasana. And we're going to finish today with a body scan. So just becoming settled on your mat, Maybe grabbing a jumper, moving those tickly pieces of hair away from you, just settling on the length of your mat. Just shake those feet from side to side, giving them a moment or two just to releasing any final energy, and then allow them to rest as they fall out. From here, we're going to move from the foundations all the way up the body. So closing off the eyes, growing heaviness through the breath. As we take the journey up the calves, over the knees, the quads, the hamstrings. Being grateful for everything our hips have allowed us to do. Noticing any sensations throughout class and now in the here and now. Feeling the heaviness through the hips as they really draw us down onto the mat. That contact points, just feeling into that. As we move up the spine now, imagine that cord at the crown of the head just pulling you, lengthening vertebrae by vertebrae as they begin to find space between the spine, resetting the way you are, allowing yourself to feel tall. As you take those nice deep breaths, allow the ribs to expand as the lungs do, and then feel the body shrink as that air disappears. Feeling the openness through the through the chest. The shoulders are back and away from you. The ears have space. Travel down the hands, all the way down to those fingertips. Thinking about the contact points from the upper arms to the elbows to the forearms. So we rest at the fingertips and they just draw in, relaxed, calm, heavy. We'll make our way back up to the shoulders now, all the way up over the nape of the neck. As we climb up the neck, we come right the way to the crown of the head. Think again about lengthening. Take that journey over the forehead. Imagine just smoothing those eyebrows away, resetting them. And then we come over the nose to the mouth. Just take a moment. Allow a smile to creep across your face as it changes the position of your eyes, the eyebrows, the cheeks. Allow the tongue to be relaxed, the jaw to be relaxed. And hold in your mind's eye your intention from today, from the beginning of class. Hold it there. And now just beginning to awaken the body. Taking those last deep inhales and exhales. See if you can take the releasing breath out the mouth, sighing away anything that was left behind. And now starting just to move the ankles and the toes, beginning to move through the fingers and the wrists. Awakening the body, bringing yourself back to the moment, to the environment that you are in. And then slowly and steadily starting to move through the body, swaying maybe from side to side or taking a stretch. And then slowly and carefully making your way up to a seated position. And I will be there